Okay. The last Netrunner video I uploaded was the January 2014 Compleat Strategist New York City Manhattan monthly tournament round 3. This is that very same tournament, round 4, the final round. We usually have 5 rounds, but there was a low turnout due to bad weather. This is the final round. I'm on the left, playing Kate. On the right, my opponent, playing Custom Biotics. Whoa! You don't see that too often these days. This is going to be some fun party times. Fun party times. Now, we had actually played each other. It was either earlier this week or the previous week on a Monday night. My memory was bad though, and even though we had played these very same decks against each other, I didn't fully remember what his deck was all about until I started seeing cards come out. Then it came back to me, and as I'll explain as the game goes on, me remembering what he was up to with this custom biotics um, sort of helped me win. So, a good deck is, I mean, it's always good to go in with a surprise. A surprise can't hurt you, right? If people don't know what to expect, they will make suboptimal plays before they're able to reconnoiter your deck, especially if you're a corp, right? Um, if the runner doesn't know what you're doing, then they're going to make mistakes in the early game until they see your cards. So that can help you. There's no denying it. Going into a tournament in a meta where everyone knows what you play with something new and fresh, it can be pretty strong. But um, a good deck is a deck that wins even when people know what you're doing, right? That's a strong deck where, yeah, you know every card in here. It's still going to beat you. That is strong. All right, so he starts off here with a double hedge fund. He's got so much money, and he blocks up R&D. I start off with a sure gamble. I got money too, guy. And I'm going to do some aggressive running. Yep, get rid of that melange. And there's a psychographic, so already we can see what this custom biotics deck is up to. The problem with custom biotics, you might think, whoa, it's so awesome to have all that influence, is that number one, no Jinteki cards. And really, if you have all that influence, most of the cards you want to put in are Jinteki. Number two problem is that there's only so many card slots in the deck. So to use up all the influence, which if you're not using it all, why are you playing this identity? You pretty much have to use really high influence cards. And the only really high influence cards out there that aren't Jinteki are like, Scorched Earth and such. So if you're playing Custom Biotics, you're probably playing one of those things, or your deck is probably really not good. It's like another sure gamble. So as lucky as he was with 2 hedge funds, I had 2 sure gambles. All's fair. And I'm gonna run R&D. Basically, yeah, Roto Turret. Okay. I don't have any programs yet, so I'm glad for him to spend 4. Right. My deck is a Parasite recursion deck, so I'm pretty much just trying to A, get ice rezzed, and yeah, I second think that Dirty Laundry. I'm gonna put a same old thing out. So I want to get ice res that I can parasite them, and I want to run everywhere with no programs installed to get him to pay money to res all these ice. Right? It's like please res ice and spend all your credits on that. It's like an economy drain. You don't need Reyna and Xanadu. Just run. And if they don't res ice, they're losing money. Okay, so he installs a naked card. He's HB. I'm 90% sure that's an Adonis campaign, right? Am I going to run it here? I don't want him to get the Adonis campaign money, right? Do I run it here? No. I'm going to wait for him to res it and then run it. That way he spends, the 4 credits to res it, gets back 3, effectively losing a credit, and then I trash it. If I just trash it now, I just lose 3. I'd rather I lose 3, he loses 1. That's a better deal. So I'm just gonna sit here and do some preparation type stuff. Let's see, install my clone chip, draw some cards, take a credit. Okay. The thing is, I saw a melange earlier. I'm hoping that's not a melange, but if it is, I'll trash it now. Oh, it is an Adonis campaign. Okay, good. Yeah, if that was a melange, I guess I would have had to let him pump it once.
I probably should take the money from it. Paid for it, but you get. Can I use the fancy ones for this? You can use all you want. Just all these. Yeah,
Another. Was that another hedge fund?
that is great.
Oh no.
That was great. I like it for beanstalk. No, it's
It's green level. Oh my god. So much monies.
You spend 2. You spend 1.
Yeah, he took 3 from his green level. I think he forgot that he wasn't Weyland.
Second dude. I'm trying to pay more attention to what the runner's doing because I've been bad at that. Right.
That's something that I've been historically bad at, is paying attention to what my opponent is doing, right? People take extra clicks and all kinds of stuff, and it's not intentional. It's just that, you need 2 eyes on each side of the game at all times to not mess up. So I've been really trying hard to pay attention to what my opponent is up to with every click of their turn on either side of the board. And that has actually helped me a lot. Oh, look at that. I was going to go and just trash that Adonis campaign. Now that is the optimal time. And he puts an ice in front of it. So now if I run there, it's going to be a pain in the butt. Because who knows, and then the run ice, he's going to get his Adonis money. So I Dirty Laundry HQ, right? Trash Jackson, Jesus Howard. He does not save. I really want to get rid of that Adonis campaign. So I'm just going to run it while I still have 2 clicks left. And that way, if there's any sort of Bioroid, at least, I'll click through. And he's got to think about rezzing it, right? Because if he rezzes it and I can still get through, let's say it's an Eli, he spends the 3 he already got from the Adonis to res that. I double click through. Okay, so I'll lose 2 clicks. Then I spend 3 to trash it, right? So if he had like a cheap end the run, like a next bronze, he probably would have rezzed it without a second thought.
I would reveal its existence.
The fact that he's thinking about it tells me it's possibly expensive and or bioroidy. Okay, so that, I'm not even going to lie, I see that as a big mistake, right? It's an Ichi. I don't have any programs installed. It costs him 5 credits to res that. So he spends 5 to res an Ichi when I have no programs installed whatsoever. Okay? So I really, only subroutine I care about is the one with the trace for brain damage and tag. I have 2 clicks left. So I'm super happy he just spent 5 credits on effectively nothing. I don't even know what's taking me so long. Yep, 1 click to click away that subroutine and trash your Adonis campaign. And I'll draw a card. Yes, please economically disadvantage yourself. Thank you. Alright, HQ's getting blocked up. Cards are getting drawn. And green levels. Yeah, he spent a lot of money at Ichi and lost an Adonis campaign and whatnot, but he's got a lot of hedge funds and beanstalks so far. He is not poor. So click 1, Parasite that Rototurret out of my face, and I'm running R&D and trash your secretary. And I'm running R&D again. It's a mid-season. Okay, so now I've fully remembered. Yeah, obviously it's a mid-season situation. He's piling up money. He's leaving servers open, right? Because he wants me to score an agenda so that he can mid-season. And we saw the psychographics earlier. Not a bad idea in a custom biotics deck. Not a bad idea at all. He has a ton of influence. Is eaten up by those mid-seasons. People are gonna steal agendas through your bioroids, but it's gonna slow them down. It's going to hurt their economy a bunch to keep trashing things like Adonis campaign. Um, you bury them with tags, which they're not expecting from HB at all. Maybe they'll expect it from custom biotics, but they might throw away some of their anti-tag tools. Well, maybe. And then, all right, so I see an Adonis in R&D, and I'm not going to trash it because again, I want him to install it, just pay to res it, and then I'll trash it. And he's got a new card installed there behind that Ichi, but he's got another card in front of another ice in front of there, so I guess I can't go there right now. But now I've got a Parasite and 2 clone chips, so and R&D is open, so I'm like, you know what? You do whatever you want. I'm gonna take all this open R&D and have a ball. Right, so back to the mid-season situation. So he is playing mid-season psychographics. If I let him get the mid-season, I'll be buried in tags. I won't be able to use my resources because he'll trash them. Um, and he'll be able to just psychographics all these HB agendas, which are all over advanceable, right? Vitruvius, Ares, you know, I guess ABT isn't over advanceable, but you'd still, can just bam, right? It's a super fast advance if he gets that going on, especially if he gets the Vitruvius counters with one psychographics. You can use the Vitruvius counters to get the psychographics back again or get the mid-season back again. That would be a really, really bad situation. So I cannot score an agenda if his money is too much more than my money, if mid-season is going to work. So basically, I'm constantly paying attention to how much money he has and how much money I have if I'm going to make a run that is likely or guaranteed to steal an agenda. And I do have a lot of money. And I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I have 11. See, I'm throwing away that pro context. You'd be like, what? You're crazy. No, if I played pro context, I'd be down to 6, right? And how long would it take me to get those 6 back? Quite a while. Because I don't really need to draw that many cards right now. I have everything I need set up for my recurring Parasite game, which is cheap to run, right? It's not a high economy thing. And his money is not going to go down, right? If I play Pro Context. So screw Pro Context. It costs too much to play right now. I need to keep these credits more than I need that extra efficiency of card credit down the line. Oh, see, I was going to trash that Adonis after he rezzed it. This was my turn, and he stuck an ice in front of it. Dang it. I'm going to run there anyway, because I want to take that out. Because that's how... Oh, it's a real ice. It's a real ice. It's not a Bioroid. I just can't click in and trash it. I could clone ship a Parasite, but I'm not going to. Right? I'm going to SMC a Datasucker. Basically, I can only recur Parasites so many times, and R&D is open, open, open. So I want to keep R&D open. I can just win like that as long as I keep my money out of mid-season range. With that Adonis that I'm going to let live, that may be harder to do with him getting 3 credits a turn for the next 3 turns. But I can't go wasting a Parasite on the next bronze right now. Because maybe I won't have enough if he ices up R&D. So I run R&D, and now I'm getting Datasucker tokens for my R&D runs. You see that? There's a Bastion there, right? So that's not easy to get rid of. Glad I didn't waste a Parasite over there. See? But I am just going to take credits the hard way, right? To make sure my economy is up in case I score agendas. Cannot get mid-seasons. And it's easy to not get mid-seasons. Just have money. And since I don't have to spend any money to run a completely naked R&D, I don't have to spend a lot of money to clone chip in a Parasite, I'm all good. See, if I had a Katie Jones, I might play it, because that's cheap. Only costs 2 to install. But you don't. I'm not playing any pro contacts here. All right, so I'm gonna run R&D, and he might let me in.
Run archives. You have a card.
Oh no, I think. Oh, there's a face down card in archives, and I have a Datasucker now, so I'm running there. It's a roto turret. He wisely threw away that roto turret, right? Because it would cost him 4 to res, and it would fall to Parasite immediately, right? So it'd be a throwaway of 4 credits. Good idea to get rid of that useless card, against my deck at least. Now I'm gonna run R&D. See, if he let me in, I would have been okay, right? If he doesn't let me in, well, you just spent 4 on the Bastion, which I just saw. So that's telling me his hand doesn't have ice in it. His hand is probably like mid-season psychographics, who knows what. Okay, so take more money because, and throw out the, I don't need Deus X, he's not. I highly doubt he's gonna play a Heimdall, right? Looking at the ice I've seen already, they all seem to be cheaper ice. I don't think this is the kind of HB deck that's playing something big and expensive like a Heimdall, right? He wants that money for the mid-season and the psychographics. He doesn't want money to spend too much money on ice. Even though I still think his ice could be cheaper. Whoa! That card that was sitting there all that time, just chilling, was actually something advanceable. So I've seen a secretary already, but if it is a secretary, I don't really care. Right? What do I care if it's a secretary? It's gonna trash my one Datasucker? Fine. Whatever. Um, okay, so I'm gonna Dirty Laundry Archives. Um, ooh, he's throwing out mid-season. Maybe he's giving up on it, or maybe he just has 2 of them. You only need 1, right? Um, hey, triple advance that card. Uh-oh. And then, so I'm worried that card, it can't be Secretary. It can't be Junebug, because he's custom biotics. He's not allowed to have Jinteki cards. Could be a Ghost Branch. Not a bad idea to accompany your psychographics and your mid-season with a Ghost Branch, right? But I'm okay with a Ghost Branch also, right? I'm just trying to pressure him here to spend out to get all these ice resed. So the card I'm really worried about there is Project Ares, right? But if he reses an Ares now, let's see, advance, advance, advance. I'll have to trash 2 cards. Okay, I'll get rid of my same old thing in my Datasucker, and I'll have 2 clone chips to bring stuff back. I'll be fine. Okay. Okay, that Adonis campaign is done. He's got money, but I made him spend a bunch. Okay, what's your triple advanced card? Advance, advance, advance score? What's going? What's it gonna be? Thinking. See, the reason I loaded up on all those Datasucker tokens is to have enough to kill off the Bastion there. But suddenly this remote became a topic of interest with its 3 advancements. Like, why hasn't he scored something with 3? Why doesn't he just score it immediately? Whoa, he's gonna install an ice on HQ. Alright. Advance twice and leave it there. Whoa. Whoa. So now, let's go back to the discussion of what it is. So, okay, I'm gonna drop my Grimoire. So if it's Secretary, big deal, I'll lose 1 card. If it's Cerebral Overrider, so I drop my Grimoire and I run there. If it's a Cerebral Overrider, that would be extremely bad. But I why, it's not a damaged deck. I've already seen it's a mid-season psychographics deck. So that's unlikely. If it's a ghost branch, it's like okay. I just can't. In this situation, I couldn't let it be Project Ares because I would have. And the next turn, you could advance it 3 times. I'd have to trash 4 cards. That's every card I have on the table.
Gets a counter from
See, it's good I didn't
all the
waste
rest of the
this
people.
Parasite on that next bronze because I need to clear out that Eli. Absolutely must clear out that Eli. He's only got 7 credits now, which is less than me. Mid-season is not possible. I double click the trash programs on the Ichi so I can keep my Datasucker. And I'm going to let him trace me on the tracing part of the Ichi.
6, 9, 12. 12 set.
Three.
I have a link.
See, I have a link. It's trace 1. He doesn't boost it.
Any Project
I'll
Ares.
access. It is Vitruvius. Oh, man. I don't know. Was that a mistake? I mean, he could have just triple advanced and scored it and had 3 Vitruvius counters. I mean, getting greedy. Yeah. I don't know what other people have been scared away by the possibility of a 5 brain damage or losing your data sucker to a secretary. Not too scary when you have a clone chip on the table, but it couldn't be Junebug. So I guess Ghost Branch, 5 tags, it's like, okay, fine. Um, okay, so now he's blocking up archives. Um, so my data sucker can't just fill up again quickly. I'm gonna draw my hand back up. I found a sure gamble when I was drawing. How nice is that? My economy's well above his. I think he's got 9. I've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I think I got like 16.
And I'll run those archives. Oh, wait, no, I won't.
So things are doing pretty good on my side of the board right now. The score is 2-0. And he's got ice in every server, but I'm still feeling pretty strong.
Draw. And I'll throw out.
Okay. Throw out my useless Plascrete. I don't feel any scorches coming on. Just my feeling. I guess he could sneak 1 scorch in there, right? There's certainly enough influence. And we haven't exactly seen any splashed ice. It's all been HB neutral ice. All we've seen so far, actually, in terms of influence, is um, mid-season and psychographics. Right? I wondered he's got 22. All right, so
Token on your bastion.
test run of Femme. Who knows what's on archives, right? That ice. Um, I need to go start, making my Parasite machine work again. I need data sucker tokens. I need to get into R&D, especially when he's got a
You're
remote
gonna run R&D and pick up
that
those
I may not
dice?
be able to get into. Run R&D. I see Jackson Howard. Trash that. See, I'm counting my money. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna pay 3 to kill Jackson Howard. Am I still gonna have enough not to be mid-seasoned? Right? Oh, see, and it was good that I counted because I was afraid I would be mid-season, and then I scavenged my Femme, keep it in place, got it for free, saved a ton of money on that. It is an ABT, so glad I took that because that is not something he would over-advance and give me 2 turns to steal. That's something he would stall unadvance, um, and then score immediately the next turn. So stealing that is big. Really, the score should be 2-2. He just he let me have that first one. Man, those Vitruvius counters, he could have been like hedge fund, hedge fund, hedge fund. Oof, if he had all 3 of those counters. And then what was I supposed to do? Economy-wise, I had no way to catch up with that.
Since there were no agendas.
I probably would have gotten mid-season right away. He wouldn't even needed all 3 hedge funds. He could just use 2 and use the third one to get a psychographics back. from the trash after using it. Drawn cards. Icing up R&D even more. Yeah, it's just too easy for me to get in there. I've got 4 points. He's got 0, so real dangerous to let me in for 1 credit right now. Put another ice on it. All right, I'm gonna run archives. I need another Datasucker. Yeah, that's good. Make him spend 3 whole credits just to block up the archives, right? You can't just let him have it, you know. Gotta make him res it. And so far, he hasn't shown any scary ice, right? The only ice I've seen that's scary in his deck is Ichi, which I can click through, right? I haven't seen any, like a Grim, which isn't even that scary, or I really haven't seen anything that's gonna hurt me. Okay, he's installed another face down card in that server. Hmm. So I've seen ABT. That could be, you know, I've seen Vitruvius. He could just score that next turn. So I run R&D. I make him spend money. Yeah, res that Eli. Look at just 2 Elis. I drained his money enough. I'm well out of mid-season territory.
No. I'm gonna infiltrate that card back there.
Infiltrate that. Yeah, infiltrate. Wish I had that before. Oh, it's Jackson Howard. Woo! I don't think I need to run there and trash that. I'm okay with him having that one Jackson Howard. I've trashed some other one. I've trashed 1 or 2 actually. Um, so
Draw a card.
yeah, you can have that one.
Signature Grimoire. Draw.
I've almost used the mid-season against him, right? By running all these servers and just threatening pretty strongly. I've basically forced him into a catch-22. It's like res the ice and you won't have enough money to pay for mid-season. Don't res the ice. I'm gonna get in and take all your points and win the game. What choice do you have? Okay, so he's using that Jackson Howard that I let him keep. It was too much. If I would have gone in to remove it, I would have been too economically drained. Um, there was a little confusion here because he drew up with Jackson and started deciding what cards to discard at the end of his turn after his second click, right? So I thought his turn was over, and then he installs, and I'm like, what are you doing installing after you discard? And it's like, oh no, he was just planning what to discard before his third
It's like
click.
you already discarded.
Um, Another good example of paying attention to what your opponent's doing. Um, you know, asking them what they're doing,
Actually,
getting a clarification.
sure. I'm gonna clone
Okay, so at the
the
end of his turn,
Parasite out.
clone ship the Parasite onto that Eli. It gets 1 from Grimoire, and then my turn begins, it gets another one. Right? Look how big that is. That's like as big as Surge. Right? That is why this deck is so strong.
I'll run R&D.
Then I'm going to run. Boom, Eli's gone.
Pay 1 for
And I pay 1 to get in, and I get a Datasucker back,
keep that.
and a Rototurret. Okay, so he's going to throw that away. Yeah, my deck actually has all kinds of indexing, Maker's Eye shenanigans. I just don't have them. Also, there's a lesson that I still haven't learned, no matter how many times I fail at it, and it's that even if you have um, indexing, don't play it if there's a Jackson Howard on the table.
Over here. Okay.
because then you'll just run, index, run again in the Jackson Howard. Okay, so I test run a Parasite, then I run there. The next bronze is strength 2 because there's another next bronze on the table. I blow it up, and there's an Adonis campaign, which I'm gonna trash. Am I gonna trash?
I would like to, yes.
See, it's okay because I didn't score an agenda this turn, so I'm not worried about a mid-season scenario, right? So yeah, trash that Adonis. I can't, I need to you can't have money, right? Especially, I'm in a situation where I get into R&D for 1. It's like, okay, if I keep going, I'm gonna be running R&D for 1 credit. If I let you have that Adonis, you're gonna have 9, and the mid-season will come raining down as soon as I score an agenda. If I get rid of the Adonis, how many does he have over there? Like 5 or 6 at most? Whoa, he's throwing it out. Whoa, okay, so my Femme is not too useful right now. Oh, I guess that's a roto turret. I didn't know that when I was playing. And what is... Something's going in front of it, which I couldn't even see here. So all new ice and R&D, which is looking pretty small, actually. It doesn't look like I'm getting in there either. Not right now, anyway.
Admire your curiosity.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna run R&D anyway, right? I mean, make him res the ice. He's got like what, 4 credits left? Yeah,
Okay.
just run R&D anyway. He's got new ice. Look, he'd even res them. Yeah, I'll take that. Run R&D again. Okay, can't do anything about that. Yeah, okay. You replaced you threw away your Bastion, basically, and you saved me 2 credits, the 2 credits that I had, and gave me 2 free R&D runs instead. It's usually not a good idea to throw away, like if you have an ice that has a Femme token on it, a lot of people like throw it away. It's like, okay, you might save a credit on that install, but you're basically saving the runner a credit per run, or however many subroutines it has per run. Don't save them money. You get an archer, it got femmed, leave it there. They'll have to pay 4 credits every time. You throw the archer away, it's like you're just helping the runner out. 4 credits to break an ice is pretty good. And look at that, I scavenge my femme. I choose the back ice, I bring the token right back. Right? If you would have installed an ice in front of the bastion, then I guess I wouldn't have had to use a scavenge, but still, it's like I would have kept that token on that bastion. Definitely would have been in a better situation for him. I'm gonna run. I didn't know that was a roto turret. Basically, putting the token there doesn't save me any money. It's 2 with the Femme token, 2 with Femme, and I'll probably parasite it anyway. But I didn't know that. Maybe I shouldn't have scavenged until I saw the ice. But here's the thing: is now that I have 6 points and I haven't been mid-season, I can't be mid-season. If I score, I win. So I don't care about the economic disparity anymore upon scoring, right? All I care about is scoring. I just need an agenda. Give me one. I know they're in there. R&D's looking pretty small.
No, this is we're fine. This is all
Oh, here was another slight confusion because I think he's Jackson Howarding, and he took 2 face down cards,
yes.
but then he took the face-down cards of archives and combined them with the face-up cards together. So I got confused because he mixed those together, right? So he's taking a face-up melange and two face-down cards with Jackson. Yeah. And the rest of the face-down archives cards somehow got mixed up with the face-up ones. He didn't keep them separate. So, yeah, they're now all just face-up. But yeah, there's no agendas in there.
There it is. There had to be 10 two-pointers in there, right? Where they hanging out?
So it's pretty late in the game, and he scored 0. I mean, it's sort of obvious the HQ is agenda loaded, but he can't fast advance any of them. He hasn't shown any biotic labors,
That was the first action.
right? So he's got to either put them on the table, or I'm going to get the ones in R&D he just put back with Jackson. So yep, he installed an advanced something once. Okay, same old thing. Infiltration. And yep, it's a game-winning agenda. Okay, so here's the problem. And this is a lesson that I taught before, right? About program trashing. Most of the things, pretty much everything that trashes programs except Roto Turret and Archer does not also end the run. Ichi does not end the run. Grim does not end the run. Burkbugs does not end the run, right? So just to make, I don't know what that ice is, so to make sure that I can do this, I install Crypsis for 4, it gets a virus counter from Grimoire, which I don't even need, and I Stimhack that server, right? I'm only need that because I need to bust through that ice. And he's got 2 Ichis, so I'm like, oh, I don't give a crap about your 2 Ichis. You're not ending the run, so I'm gonna win. I can't possibly, I can just let all those subroutines fire. Fine, trash all my programs. Right? But, okay, trash my programs. Try to trace me against my 9 Stimhack credits and my 1 link. With either of those, right? I can even break one with my extra click. I don't care. So trace me. I'll take a tag and a brain damage, trash all my programs. I don't need the programs. You're not ending the run. And then I access, and then I win. You need to put an end the run ice behind a program trasher.
I couldn't get it going. Could never get like a nice ice
You need to put an end the run behind a program trasher. Otherwise, especially in that kind of situation where it's like, it's the end of the game. If I score that, I win. I could just walk into that server with nothing. I mean, Ichi costs 5 Therese, but it doesn't stop me. I don't need programs to win. I need the points. Now, that would have been a great play, say, earlier in the game, right? Like, someone's building up a rig. They've got some icebreakers. They run in there trying to get the agenda. Maybe they don't get it because they don't want to lose their rig so early in the game. Or maybe, they do get in there and lose a program or 2 in the process, thus ruining the rest of their game. That's a good early game play. Well, if it's super early game, it's also, see, I guess it's a mid-game play. If you try that play so early on that they don't have programs, worthless. If you try it so late that they're going to win by getting in and taking the agenda, worthless. But mid-game, when they still need the programs, and they can't afford to lose the programs, that could work. But yeah, right there, not the best. I guess he didn't really have many options left, right? He probably just had all agendas, and I did like that. That was a PSF, right? The fact that PSF was in there, I threw away my Plascrete. That was probably foolish. Probably should have kept it. If he mid-seasons with a PSF, pew 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 pew. It's bad news. So I took that game. Okay, here we go. It's MBN versus the Professor. The Professor. So I did play. I did remember playing against this deck a week or two before this tournament. I think he changed it since then, but you know, it's a professor deck. It's you can basically just expect one of every program in the universe to be in there. And the last time I played this deck, I lost to it. I wasn't playing MBN, um, but I lost to this deck hard because I didn't think of Sneak Door. I didn't block up archives at all. And then I'm sitting there with, you know, really good board layout. I'm pretty strong position, but I've got an agenda or two in my hand. He just goes boom, pulls out, whips out a Sneak Door with a tutor or something, and then just goes nails HQ, boom, 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 boom with the Sneak Door, and it was game over. That surprise end game Sneak Door. You know, when he was just like a couple points away from winning, we were both pretty even. Just that was it. So that's the only thing I remember about playing against this deck, is that there's a Sneak Door in it. You know, that's one thing about the professor. It's like, yeah, he has every program, but for you to play in such a way as a corp, any corp, of any archetype, such that you can account for every program, it's like, no, there's going to be a program somewhere in the card pool that will be strong against whatever your setup is, right? So really, I think the way to play against Professor is to you can play an economic game, right? And B, well, you can do that with any runner because he's not getting a discount from Kate or any other kind of ability, right? You can play program trashing will help you a little bit because he'll bring out the most optimal program and he can only recurse it so many times with cloneship and whatnot. Um, but that might not even be that strong because yeah, he'll just bring it back with cloneship and whatnot. Um, what you need to do is need to play in such a way to get the professor to use his resources to bring out suboptimal tools. Um, you know, make him install these suboptimal programs. You know, because he has to, right? Because he can't get the optimal ones, or he thinks one is going to be optimal, but actually a different one was optimal. And then it's going to be kind of hard for him to switch. He'll have to like scavenge programs out, or you know, and in that click wasting, um, you'll get an advantage. Okay, so I start up by blocking up R&D because first turn medium's a thing, guys. Turn one medium is a thing when you're against a professor, and I'm more afraid of that than I'm afraid of a turn one nerve agent. Right? He can't possibly have an account siphon or a vamp or anything like that. He's the professor. He only has one influence for non-programs. So the only HQ threatening program he can have, he can't even have an HQ interface, is a nerve agent. And I'm like, okay, if you want to play nerve agent turn one, you go for it. But a medium turn one or keyhole turn one, hell no. Okay, so instead it's a magnum opus turn one. Bad news for NBN. Very bad news, right? Pretty much all my ice are tracing, all my sands trash for 5. Pretty much everything I have is defeated by piles of credits. So as a runner, he could just like take 8, take 8, take 8, take 8. I know he doesn't have any link. Well, I don't know he doesn't have any link, but I doubt he has link. You start taking piles and piles of credits with Magnum Opus, and then like take 8 and take 8, and then just run, 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 beat all the traces, trash all the things, and it'll be bad news for me as NBN. But as you'll see in this game, he doesn't do that. I mean, he took a few credits. He ran Jackson. I used it. Did he? Okay. I was like, did he just spend the 3 to trash that when he didn't have to? No, he didn't. Okay. He was just getting ready to. Yeah, Magnum Opus is an NBN killer, right? Take piles of money, run everything. But you have to be able to, you should have a Sentry Breaker because you'll never know when like a Roto Turret or a Grim or something could show up. And there he goes. He runs a Bernice on the last click. Not good. Trace 7. He can't beat the trace. And he's going to take a tag. And is he going to pay 3 to trash Bernice? Yes. We've been discussing recently that if you have the ability, usually, if you can, Bernice, if you read the card, it says if you beat her trace, which will avoid getting a tag, you also trash Bernice. So let's say, it's the trace by default is 5. It's a big trace. Um, but trashing her is 3 and removing a tag is 2. So you're actually saving a click, right? And even if MBN increases it by 2 credits to trace 7, well, you have a magnum opus, so a click is 2 credits. So if you pay 7 to avoid the tag and trash Bernice, you're basically that's fine. That is the correct move to make. Um, and then take 2 with your magnum opus with the click you saved that you don't have to use removing the tag that you would have gotten, and Bernice will be trashed. Uh, as opposed to pay 3 to trash Bernice, pay 2 and a click to remove the tag. Right? That's much worse. Anyway, no, it's not much worse, but it's we've become fans of just paying and beating Bernice's trace as she gets trashed. So he runs HQ. I let him in. There's 1 card. It's closed accounts. That's another reason I wasn't afraid of the Nerve Agent. Boom, Gila hands. If MBN installs 2 face down cards like that, you gotta at least run to check it, right? And you got a magnum opus. Just take 8, take 8. Come on, just take a pile of credits. You can beat any trace in the universe. Just take 8. Well, he's taking some, but he's not taking huge piles that will let him walk all over me. And he let me have a Gila hands. So now I'm gonna be the one with all the monies. I only have 1 Gila hands in the deck. I'm gonna install and Gila hands. Money. All right, he's got a pile of money there now. Looks pretty substantial. Quality time. So he still really hasn't got any programs going on here. He's the professor. He hasn't made me. He hasn't run to make me Resiny Ice. He doesn't know what the ice are. He hasn't. Well, he has run, but isn't forced put me in a situation where I have to res ice and spend money. Let me score Gila hands. He made me use my Jackson Howard a little early. He's got a magnum opus, but he hasn't taken enough money to scare me. All right, so now he's gonna run R&D, and it's a caduceus. So trace 5, or I get 3 credits. And now watch this. He has no link. He's the professor. He's gonna spend 5. Okay, so that's 2.5 clicks worth of magnum opus, and then spend 2 to get in and see 1 card. Oh, we got an agenda. So maybe that was worth it. 7 credits for an agenda? Yeah, all right. But it's still a huge drain on his economy. I was perfectly happy with that. I'm like, okay, beat both traces on a caduceus, one of them boosted. That's okay. That is acceptable. Why don't you, take 6 and do it again with your magnum opus? You can get in there every turn pretty much. All right, Jackson Howard. And he's also got to know that the face down card in the remote is a Sansan, right? If you know that, at least run it. You're playing MBN, you know that's a Sansan. You know you got to trash it. You definitely have enough credits to trash it with your magnum opus. Just run it. You at least have to try to trash it, even though I haven't resed it yet. Because I'm not going to res it unless I'm going to use it immediately. So if I res it, that means I'm getting points. You got, trashing it before I res it is still worth it. You spent more than that breaking a caduceus. Okay, so he drops a clone chip, and he's already quality timed a ton of cards into the trash and freelanced a bunch of cards in the trash. And he's got a clone chip, so he can bring out all kinds of stuff. He's going for HQ. He tells me the only the programs in HQ in archives that matter are Nerve Agent, which I suspected already, and I guess now also the Keymaster matters, right? And of course, here's Viper. So I guess just because of he's only got clone chip, he doesn't have a SMC. that's the only thing really available to him. And I guess he just really wanted to get into HQ. You know, I guess it's not unreasonable with all the Jackson Howard drawing I've been doing that I'm holding on to AstroScripts. So maybe, um, you know, going into HQ right now is worth it. There's an argument to be made for that. But Keymaster, yeah, Keymaster breaks Viper for 4 or 5, depending on whether you want to lose a click or not. He sees the closed accounts again. Okay, so yeah, you can get into HQ for 4 credits. It's like, okay, Viper is sufficient. You have put down a suboptimal program. If you want, you can spend 3 clicks every turn. You can spend your whole turn every turn to get 1 HQ access. That's still pretty well protected. You can get into R&D if I don't boost the trace for also a whole turn. He's got 5 cards in his hand. Sweet, sweet. No, I think he had 4 in his hand. So I only get 3? Whatever, it was still worth it. And then Gila Hands. Look at that. Sleep Sweet Gila Hands. And that alone, in 1 turn, is enough money to res a Sansan. Right? 8 credits is the magic number with NBN. With 8 credits, they can res a Sansan, install double advance, and score an AstroScript. So if NBN has 8 credits, you cannot allow them to have, right? The Sansan has to already be installed for the 8 credits to do the fast advance score. It's the same thing with HB and their like biotic labor. I think they need like 6 credits, right? Because isn't biotic labor 4? And then they install gaining a credit, advance for I forget how many it is that they need to biotic labor out a 3-point agenda. But for MBN, the number is 8. If they have 8 credits, you need to run and get rid of any face down installed asset cards in remotes to make sure they're not Sansans. So NBN cannot fast advance something out. You just have to, right? He hasn't even run that remote. And I've got now 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, all right, he's going to try to run my Jackson, and he's got enough to trash it, so I'm going to use it. Sometimes I let him trash the Jackson, because I'd rather, depending on the situation, I'd rather have them spend 3 credits. But I think I may have put an agenda in the trash, like a character assassination or something, and so I needed to protect it. I also think I took back a Bernice and a hedge fund, which I'm happy to bring back. I've only got 1 Jackson left, but that's okay. Yep, there it is. Sansan. Boom. Choo-choo. Astro Train. I keep calling it Astro Train because, you know, thematically it feels like a train, right? You get one, then you just get the other ones just follow right after, like boom, boom, boom. It's like a chain, right? There's also the Transformer named Astro Train. But really, AstroScript is about astronomical script. It's about, you look at the picture, it's about writing the NBN logo on the moon. Well, it's a pilot program. It's seeing if writing on the moon is viable. So now he sees that it's a Sansan, he wants to trash it. I got a Draco. Strength 0. Yep. Strength 0 it is. I'll trace 4 for the tag and then the run. And look, he doesn't, you know, I think if he beats the trace, I think he won't have enough to trash the Sansan, right? Yep, he had enough. He had 5 credits, which is just enough for the Sansan, so not enough for both. I'm keeping the Sansan. That's pretty much right. I have an AstroScript token, and he's letting me keep a Sansan rezzed on the table. I got a breaking news, but he doesn't have any resources, and he's only got 3 credits, not really worth a closed accounts. I've made the mistake before of being super hasty and just sort of like, reflexively going, breaking news, closed accounts. And when the person only had like 1 credit, and it's like, oh, that's a bad idea, right? I'll just not do that. And he doesn't have any resources to trash, so it's like, I'll just take my 1 agenda point. That is what I'm going to do. And I'll take a credit with my other click, which would be much more useful. So now I've got 4 points, and I've got a rezzed Sansan. Super, super bad news. And he just spent his money on a quality time. I guess he's really looking for more programs, right? And I guess he was just he was really frustrated. I would be too, in just not getting, with so many quality times, right? He's had 1 clone chip. It's like, that deck has 3 self-modifying codes, 3 test runs, 3 clone chips. It does. It's a professor deck. But so far, he's seen a clone chip. My guess is he's getting all these programs, and he's freelancing them, and he put his mem chips out. Yep, more freelancing, right? But he's not getting any tutors or clone chips, so he can't actually get the programs installed. Um, you know, so yeah, that can be frustrating. Um, But at the same time, it's like he doesn't need programs. Oh, there's a Beal. Okay, so the game is pretty much over at this point. I have a Res Sansan and an AstroScript token, and 6 points. So I don't even need the AstroScript token or the Sansan, but I have them. I just need to draw breaking news, of which there are 2 more in the deck, and the game is over. Um, but yeah, just you have a Magnum Opus. You don't need all my stuff, I have 1 ice on each server. 1 on RD, 1 on HQ, 1 on the remote. All of them are tracing. Everything I have on the table that I've shown is defeated by money. All these clicks and credits that were spent on quality times and whatnot, you could have just spent taking credits with Magnum Opus. Take 8, take 8, take 8, take 8. However many, you don't need to take 8 every turn, right? You take some turns, you take 6 and run and smash shit up. Or take 4, run, and then maybe you have to clear a tag, or maybe you take 2 more, right? Just take credits and run. Everything is tracing. I don't have any, beyond the 2 recurring trace credits, I don't have enough credits to beat a Magnum Opus. I have 2 credits. I spent everything on that Sansan. Okay, so now Mimic appears. He finally got a test run. He test ran the Mimic. And he's going to run, I guess, R&D. Or run... Okay, so he's running and getting rid of the Sansan. So he pays 1. Oh no, he's running R&D. And he sees a Viper? Okay. And I win. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so this is the bottom of his deck. Literally the bottom. Okay. So yeah. That was a really bad draw for the professor with all his tutors in the bottom. That sort of thing can happen and be pretty frustrating. But, number 1, I don't think he needed the tutors. He just needed to take fistfuls of money with Magnum Opus, right? And after he already knew that nothing was a program. If he ran into a Roto Turret, which I didn't have in my deck, but he doesn't know that could have trashed his Magnum. Very dangerous. But he ran all 3 of those ice anyway, and none of them were Roto Turret. So, and they all were just trace powered. Just take credits and run. Also, something that happened to me when I played Exile was that you would get so absorbed and so focused on using, installing things from the trash because you're Exile, right? Or using tutors because you're the professor. You quality timed and you have a Magnum Opus. So just take your program and install it. If you have the program in your hand, just install it normally. What's stopping you from installing a program normally? I think part of his problem is the programs he wanted, which was Mimic, was also down low, right? And that's the other thing with Depressor. You do only have 1 copy of each program, right? You're not going to have, 2 copies. So you pretty much need the tutors, right? Because you're not going to draw the program you want, even with quality time. So it's like, yeah, I'm sure if he drew a Mimic, which is the optimal program in that situation, he would have just installed it directly. But he just, I guess, didn't draw Mimic, and all the tutors were at the bottom, and he used his early game abilities to get a Magnum Opus, and he used his only clone chip to get the inefficient Keymaster that was only used once, and he didn't really do a whole lot of taking money and beating traces, which he could have done. So there you have it. I won this tournament, by the way, because of these 4 games you've just seen. I came into that third round um, only having won 2 Corp games. Yeah, this MBN went undefeated on this day. The 2 runner games you saw were the only 2 runner games that deck won at this tournament. But because there were players there who were ahead of me, I didn't really deserve to win. But the table of players that was ahead of me in terms of prestige points, they went to time in their second game. So they effectively lost a prestige point, which, my tiebreakers and I had weak side wins. My corp was way stronger than my runner, and I would have lost if they would have just finished their game. I would have lost, I think, to either one of them. Um, but because they went to time, uh, they were 1 prestige point less than me. So none of those other tie-breaking things mattered. And sweeping the second half of the tournament in this fashion, it's the first time I ever won a tournament. But it doesn't feel like I really deserved the win when someone else went to time, and I was playing this really cheesy MBN deck that just wins. Um, so yeah, stay tuned. We got some more videos coming soon. Lots of new exciting cards have hit the scene, and I'm sure everyone wants to see them get used to great effect.